Welcome to the Lesser 99 podcast, Stories of Everyday People. Today we're on episode 6, and we have a special guest, Catherine.
Hey!
Nice.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's so good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Catherine. Yeah.
So you and I met working at Hobby Lobby together.
Yeah.
Before I had Lyra, we were co-workers,
Okay.
and then I had Lyra and disappeared off the,
So
face of
doing
the
the
earth.
thing,
So
doing the life together, haven't seen each other.
Yeah.
Doing the pregnancy and stuff, and I'd
No,
call
I
her Prego all the time. You know,
Mm.
it's, yeah.
yeah,
She got the nickname.
the morning sickness. That it was awful.
Yeah.
They would tell me, they were like, we didn't think morning sickness would ever stop for you.
No, Maddie and I have talked about our birth stories, and I have 4 kids, and no, they just came out. Like, they just came out. I don't even have a complaint, really, if I talk to other people. And then you hear Maddie's birth story, and I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Right?
Not at
Yeah,
all. So
no.
continue, yeah.
So, well, we're just going to talk about everyday things.
Sure.
Super easy.
Cool.
If you don't want to talk about something I mentioned earlier, just, be like, hey, I don't want to talk about it. And it's fine, we'll move on.
No worries.
But to start off, why don't
So
you give
hold
us...
on just one sec. So
Yeah.
on our podcast, I just wanted to go into we're the lesser 99, right? Like that she said. And the reason that we wanted to have you on here is because we're everyday people too. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to make it through life, do the things. So don't feel any pressures, about questions. We're very, very bossy and bold. We've been told when we get to what was it we were told the other day? We did an inquisition.
Yeah.
We were told that we did an inquisition, and maybe we did, but life is crazy, man, and you gotta figure your stuff out. So, anyways, I hope you feel comfortable being here,
You're good.
and we're
Yeah,
excited
all good.
I'm excited to
I'm
learn about
still
you.
half asleep, just like the both of you.
Well,
so
we're over here
we're
drinking the
good.
coffee. The cat's attacking my feet on Mach 90.
It's
So,
a little excited. So to start us out, let's do simple and easy. Where are you from? If you don't want to be too specific, you can just say state. And then just a little bit about how you ended up where you are now.
I am right at this point in my time, my life, 61 years old.
Mm.
So I have moved around a lot. I can't say I've been in one spot too long to say home.
Okay.
And stuff. But have been here in Colorado Springs for almost, 22 years now.
Mhm.
Because my son is 23.
So you raised him here.
I
out here.
raised him here.
so do
Okay.
you feel like you created a home for yourself now?
Yeah. In a
Okay.
way,
Okay.
and stuff.
Right.
And I'm, let's say, I'm still kind of wanting to move around, but not really.
Mhm.
I do want to move up to Denver with my son,
Okay.
and stuff,
Yeah.
to be closer with him. But I've been giving them their space because they've lived
Right.
with parents before, and stuff. So they needed that time to say, hey, we did this, and
we're
stuff.
adults now.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we could
I
do
think
this,
it's good for him to do the struggle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We all had to do it.
Yes.
We want to powder them, but it's a thing that needs to happen. So
Yeah.
you just have the one.
He's my one and only.
Okay, one and only, and
Yes.
Maddie has a one and only.
Yep. And I was with Ryan. He doesn't know his father.
Mhm.
No connection with the father whatsoever. So, which is fine with me.
Is it probably for the better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So, I made that determination a long time ago
Mhm.
when Ryan, before Ryan was even born, and stuff. And I still was pregnant at the time with him, and I was just all like, I gave one contact to his father and just told him, this is what I'm doing. This is it.
Yeah.
And didn't have him on the birth certificate, nothing, so he's just,
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm polar opposite. I did the religious thing, got married, had 4 kids. I don't even understand that, but I wanted out of it so bad.
and then the light comes on. Bing, bing, bing.
Definitely took a lot of years, but yeah, so I listened to that and I'm like, okay, so no father in the picture, you raised them solely alone.
Solely alone.
Solely alone. That's a hard thing. That's
Yeah.
a thing to never have that break as a mom.
I had, nonstop with him as a baby, you know, and stuff. I had wonderful employers that let me bring him with me to work.
Back in the day,
Oh,
it used to
okay.
be so much better.
You're,
Yeah.
you know,
See, if
as
we
long as your boss was cool with it, he got to come
Yeah.
along. And I was cleaning houses at the time, so it was kind of easy, you know, and stuff. And during that time, that was how it worked until he got into daycare.
Yeah.
And then did the daycare thing. I worked in the daycare, so that way my costs wouldn't be so.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah.
It kind of gave him some siblings to run around with. And
Kind of,
it's
but
a
at
lot
the
of work,
same
yeah.
time, he was all like, he kind of got annoyed, I think,
okay,
and frustrated.
okay.
Yeah. He had a hard time when he was younger to vocalize his own feelings.
Okay.
So, even though that between me and him, we could talk together.
Yeah.
Other people, not so much.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know that he trusted you enough to be the person that he confided in. You know.
Yeah.
He felt safe.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
we all go through some angsty phases where
Yeah.
we're like, I'm
Right.
not going to talk to my mom.
I think that's the biggest thing, though. Like, my story is that my kids aren't talking to me right now, but back in the day, I was their best friend but parent.
Yeah.
You know, I knew all the things or most of the things. You know, and I think that's an accomplishment as a parent. If
It
your kid
is.
will come and talk to
It
you.
is,
You know.
definitely. And
I'm gonna
then
close
at the
this.
same
Yes.
time, you're just hoping that he does open up. You know, he
Yes.
does explore that avenue. People are okay. It's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the daycare, you're also teaching them stranger danger. But that goes a little bit too far.
I never did sleepovers with my kids because it happened in the family. Like, so I was like, no, ma'am, you
know,
close your little circle.
As the one with the youngest child at the table,
Yes.
my
Yes.
feral 3.5-year-old, my grandma would tell me, you know, go take her out, go put her in like a daycare or a day, like a mom's day out type thing.
Mhm.
And honestly, I don't think that I have enough trust to do that. You know, that's really hard for me to just be like, all right, well, here's my kids, see you later. And especially like, I don't know if you've read anything. I know that you and I have talked about it,
Yeah.
but all the horrible things that are coming out. I told my mom yesterday, I was like, you're lucky that I'm putting her in school at this point because I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
That's why I made it a point to
To
work
work,
at
yeah.
the daycare where he was at.
yeah.
I even moved because I had to move him to another location, to another daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And besides the one I was working at, because he exploded. And I said, well, maybe if we split us apart, you know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it'll work better. And he was doing super good, and then another explosion. So I was just all like, maybe, I don't know, you know, and stuff. So I went ahead, moved over, and then things calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
So with kids that have that temperament of, or not feeling so confident in themselves, sometimes you do need to have other people do it for
Mhm.
you, and sometimes you need to step in and say,
Right.
hey, look, let me.
Right.
So I had one that I never had him diagnosed, but he was always oversensitized to everything. So like he had the meltdowns and he was my fourth kid, so I was like,
Where did this
what
come
is
from?
wrong with you? Yeah, like, I remember, but as in you were talking about that, but I think they just don't know how to cope with that feeling of unease. They come from this home of safety where there's this wall of
Yeah.
protection, and then you toss them out into the real world with everything that's going on. You're like, good luck, and they go, huh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kid started at 2 and 3 doing that. We would take him to church and he would lose his mind. And I think it was just like you were saying, like they just don't know how to cope with the world as it is
Yeah.
because you created such a safe environment for
Right.
him.
Yeah,
So,
definitely, definitely.
so Lyra's not like that. Lyra, you
No,
know, she'll
she's
go and talk
very
to
much adapted.
anybody. not a care in the world. She said hi to every person in the store the other day. And I was like, please. But my sister was one of those babies that it was 3 people that could hold her. It was her dad, our mom, and me. And anybody else, she sobbed uncontrollably, freaked out.
But she's a big energy person too, with those hugs and things. She feels that.
Older sister, the older one. Irie, not Indy.
Oh.
Yeah, Irie was one of those
I was
babies.
confused.
I know. Well, I have 2 sisters, and they're both younger, so it gets confusing.
I
but
just don't see them enough, so the 2 I names.
Yes.
I do that a lot. She's real good at correcting me. She's like, no, come back over here.
Right. But yeah, she was like that. She wouldn't let me put her down. If somebody talked to her, she'd start sobbing. I mean, one of the first pictures that I have where Anthony met her is her like snotty nose, red face, like freaking out. Anybody that she met, she did not.
That's crazy.
She didn't do that with.
That's crazy.
That was really difficult.
Well, and my home was really extreme growing up, so my kids' home was different, and Maddie and I have talked about that a lot. But Maddie, I've noticed with her child, was a lot better at teaching her emotions to get through the world.
Gotcha.
Where I was like, stop talking, don't make a noise, don't breathe, don't like. I don't know how you feel with your son. Like, do you feel like you gave him more tools than you got as a child, or do you feel like you raised him same because your childhood was good?
My childhood actually was up and down too, because of the fact that we moved around a lot. And so that way I wanted more stableness for him.
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know.
So that's a better
So
thing.
that,
Yes.
but at the same time, as he got older, he was all like, Mom, why don't we move?
Yeah.
He must
And
have
I
picked
was
up on
all
you
like-
wanting to move.
I don't know.
You sound kind of like me. When I
Yeah.
landed here, I wasn't aiming for Colorado, but I landed here, and then it was like, okay.
Well, I landed here because my dad lived here.
Okay.
So I wanted him to grow up with his grandpa.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then my dad passed away in 2018.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So when that happened, and he was in high school,
Yeah.
my son did really good. He settled down, pretty much the end of the elementary ages, and stuff. Went into middle school, did fabulous. He was doing A's and B's, and kicking it, and he loved his teachers. He was so proud of himself, and stuff. You could see the confidence in him come out, and just said, Mom, look,
Right.
he
was
and
proud
stuff.
of himself.
And and but high school, okay, we all know high school. Still the same, no matter what age group you're in now. You can go walk through the high school halls, and it's still the same BS that we all traded through. Okay.
It just, I think, it's that rite of passage for life. Like, you're trying to figure out how to get through, and somehow that high school era, you look back at it and go.
So where does your confidence go? You had that confidence, and then all of a sudden your confidence goes, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, why is it that we have to, Maddie and I have talked about how, we had the bodies that we never knew we had, but we didn't use them that way. We just had the body. And then you lose all that self-confidence because you beat yourself up. You listen to the public, you listen to the people, so we attack ourselves over who we are.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
So
the whole thing.
I just turned 30, and I still struggle some days. Some days are worse than others, but I have a hard time with, I guess, the voice in my head sounds like the voices of people I went to school with who told me awful things about myself. And so I get in those modes where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so terrible, I'm so ugly and horrible and all the things. And then, she'll come to me, Anthony will come to me, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know,
Well, and how you said, how
That
do we lose
pregnancy
it?
hormones.
So one day we're showing each other like our shadows on the sidewalk, and they look similar. We've got, and she's telling me, she's hyping me up, she's doing all the things, and I looked at hers and I go, so yours looks the same, how come you don't look good? And she's all,
what?
like,
Can I slap
don't,
you?
I don't see the same. I don't see the same when I look. But
why do we do that with our eyes?
So
why do we?
So the biggest thing, and what I always keep in mind too, is you take your life one day at a time. And when you're looking at yourself, you look inward.
Mhm.
Forget all that. Like, I don't even wear makeup anymore.
Heard.
Makeup's gone.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm over it. Long ago. Because I used to wear it when I was younger. You know, and so the transformation for me now, I'm all like, should I still wear it? No, I don't. And, you know, so it changes. It does change you, you know, and stuff. But
I think we don't need the masks as much. The things that make us feel good to go out in public. You know how we would like put on with each layer of something, you were getting ready to go face the world.
Yeah. Well, and I looked at myself too one day after I put on my makeup, you know, and stuff. I think I was probably in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked in the mirror and I saw the cakeness. You know, the layer of cakeness on your face. And it was cracking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all like, I need to take this stuff off.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I took it off.
The most that I do is like eye makeup. For the podcast, sometimes I'll do foundation, but for the most part, I really don't like that either.
Yeah.
I just kind of stick to like the eyeshadow and eyeliner, and I'm like, all right, well.
I think the mascara did a thing on my eyelashes. And I'm all like, I could barely even see.
Dude, I was that girl that would sleep in it and you'd wake up with your things sticking out and then wonder why your eyelashes are falling. I was terrible. I think I used rubbing alcohol to wipe my face. Like, you know what? Like, we survived it.
So,
but going back to surviving things.
Yeah.
And taking that one day at a time and looking at yourself and just say, I got this.
right.
Yes.
I got this.
Yes.
I don't care.
Speaking of surviving things, how
He's a
you know
whole
what?
extra today.
He has questions too.
He does. He
He's
does.
trying to interview with us.
He doesn't understand why he's not the center of attention right now.
Right.
Things are hard in his life.
So, speaking of surviving things, you've been out here for 22 years, you said?
Yeah.
And one of my biggest questions is you have seen so many changes out here, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
From rent prices to food prices
don't get me started
to
on all that.
stuff like that. What
But
would you say, I guess comparing to when you first moved to where you're at now, what were your biggest day-to-day struggles and what has changed now? Like, are they different struggles or are they the same? So let's just start when you moved here. So when you moved here, what was the biggest?
When I moved here with Ryan, being an infant and stuff, finding a place. I first started out with moving with the church, and it was the Salvation Army, and they had a program.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Fresh Start. You could go in to this program, sign up, just like you do with DHS, you know, and stuff, and give them all your information. But of course, they had their rules and regulations, you know, and stuff, and guidelines that you had to abide by. So, you know, but it was a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I needed. That's what you need for your family. That's what you need for your child.
Yeah.
You know, so my child always came first, you know, and thinking, how am I doing this? What am I going to do? You know, and stuff. So, and it gave me time. I didn't have to pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me several months to get settled in, get my stuff, get acclimated, even though they knew my dad was with the Salvation Army for many years. So that's the connection there with the church.
Okay.
And yeah, we did go to church, you know, and stuff. So, because he also knew, my dad knew people that, you know, would work there or live there or, you know, go to church, you know, and stuff. So that's where it kind of based, and it helped me to get a foundation started.
Yeah.
So, and that helped.
So you didn't have struggles with rent for a while?
For a while.
Yeah.
But there's always that in the back of your mind going, I need to get a job.
Yeah.
I need to start supporting myself, you know. So it's still, So that's the next process, you know, and stuff. Little by little. And the apartment that they gave me furniture was free, you know, and everything. They had it furnished, you know, so I didn't have to worry about that. So, and that's the whole thing of the program. It's a fresh start for a family. You know, your first step. getting through. And without that, I think I probably would have been living with my dad and my stepmom at the time. That's another story.
I lived with some in-laws once. I bet it is.
Yeah.
I think we've all
But
lived with someone before.
My stepmom didn't want me to live with her.
Oh yeah.
And they had a big house, enough room, and stuff. And I was just all like, okay, you're not my mama.
Right, guess I'll go figure it out myself.
You're,
Cheers.
You're my mom's sister, but you're definitely not my mom.
Yeah.
Because if it was my mom would have taken me in, and said, live with us.
Yeah.
I'm not raising you. I don't feel like it's my duty to raise your child, but I'll be glad to help you.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
When I had Lyra, I stayed with my mom for a little bit, for 3 months, and then we moved here, and we've been here since. And for me, one of my biggest struggles was kind of the same of, yes, I have that place to stay, but at the same time, I'm a parent, and I have to basically get my shit together. I gotta figure out where I'm going and what's next, and now we've kind of ended up here, and like it's been super stable, and that's been our biggest concern for her, because him and I moved around too, but then when she was born, we were like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to just constantly and move everything. I just, it's too much.
Yeah.
So,
it's a lot.
So what would you say that your biggest struggle back then was? Was it trying to find a job? Was it raising your baby? What was your biggest day-to-day struggle back then?
Maintaining myself.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
a good one.
Nobody gave us tools for.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because
that's the truth.
I definitely, with putting your child first, and stuff, and making sure everything is stable for them, I lost myself, but at the same time, I was still there.
Yes.
I think we see a new version of ourselves emerge, but you're also like, dude, I'm a wreck, but I'm not a wreck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're holding it together for this little human.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're trying to create this safe world for them when your world is chaos.
Yeah.
Could be
You
You start, and with being in this program now, it helped me actually, because they would have meetings, and within the meetings, they did budgeting classes.
Okay.
And then eating classes. Like
Was
your
this the
food
program
balance.
that you were doing?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, the
So-
programs were helpful. Like, I remember going to the WIC programs, and they would do these actual classes and kind of teach you how to be a mom, because they hand you this kid and send you home, and they're like, good luck.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, mine wasn't that great. How am I going to keep that one alive? Like, what are we doing here? So those programs were really helpful. Like, I remember in my head, I used to mock them. Now I look back and see the basics they were giving me for what they were.
Now, granted, I was 37, 36 when I had write-in.
Okay.
So, I wasn't young, and I wasn't in my 20s. I wasn't 16 or anything going,
Yeah.
oh my God,
So,
freaking out.
If you
Too
don't
bad.
mind my asking, father's out of the picture,
Mhm.
so he wasn't planned. Your son, or were you dating this guy for a while and
Well,
then parted ways?
we were together, yeah. But
Oh, okay.
then also,
So he was still a planned little thought. No.
Yeah, but
Mine weren't. They just.
and I'm just all like, at the same time, I think I may have planned it, but he didn't.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
you're the one who
You know what?
yeah.
I
You know
took
what?
I took
You
the
also
sperm donor, okay?
You know what? You also took on the responsibility. Like,
Yes.
it's not like you made that choice and we're like, just kidding, never mind.
Yeah.
So I don't, it is what it is.
Right.
Takes two.
So-
Takes two.
So in today, what would you say your biggest day-to-day struggle is?
Now
Yeah.
is maintaining myself at home.
Okay.
That's because now that my son is gone, or
Yeah.
he's moved away.
Yeah. He's living his
It's
life
just
too.
me and the cat, and stuff. And I'm all like, I get home and I'm all like, okay, feed the cat, feed me, and then zone out
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
because of my world of retail. Yeah.
You know,
You
that's...
do. You get in the grind of being one of the sheep.
Yes.
Like, I even come home, I've now created this whole, it's my imagination till it's not at work, because you just have to go and do the grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
I try the to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work for me.
No.
No.
I
Not
mean,
even
it
the
just
grocery
sits-
list.
Well,
The
that
grocery list doesn't work for me either because I'll still forget something at the freaking store.
Right. So that was gonna be my next question, is how do you cope with that? You know, you talk about keeping yourself together. Have you found any way to cope, or is that something that you're still...
Day to day,
Yeah.
praying. Yeah, and I still have a faith. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes I may not sound like it, but
We
I
all
still
human,
have
man.
a faith that is there.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff, and knowing that I'm not alone. I always text. Oh, me and my son text like you would not believe. You would think that we're always on the phone together, you know, and stuff. Even when he's working, we send each other's little videos and I love yous and stuff like that.
That's
so,
sweet.
and he loves it,
Mhm.
you know, and stuff. So still
I
to
love
this
that you have that
day,
friendship with him.
yeah, we've kept that connection, and I will never let that go. I'm sorry to say, but I will never let that go.
Yeah.
You know, what?
I love that you were able to transition from raising him to adulthood and have that friendship there.
Even his partner,
Yeah.
we are so, because his partner, when they met, Ryan didn't tell me.
Okay.
Maybe, well, you
And
know
then
what?
it's okay.
He's got a close relationship
Yeah.
with you. He's probably scared.
He
You're gonna have
was.
to meet my mom.
He
You
was.
were like Maddie and I. The Inquisition was coming. Go ahead.
But I thought I made him comfortable enough to say, I have this unconditional love for you. Whatever happens,
Right.
happens.
Mhm.
You know, and stuff. I'm not gonna get mad at it.
Right.
You know, I think back in the day he did see me slam the door, you know, and stuff like that. So I think he was
Well, we all
probably,
have human moments,
Yeah.
so
Well,
fair.
and love is a tricky one.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna start
So-
mixing that with even a mom-son relationship, if you're not a healthy enough person,
Yeah.
I was in a relationship. The mom and the son had a unhealthy relationship, you know. So that's good for you.
yeah. So it gave him that balance still, though, you know, and gave me the balance.
Nice.
You know, of saying, wait a minute, I have to lower my whole being in order for him to calm down,
Mhm.
you know, and stuff, and to be that coolness.
Figure out how to get them
You
to
know,
relax. To
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
Yes.
So he's not exploding and slamming the door.
Yeah.
I love it.
So there's always those moments when you get into their ages where, yeah, they feed off of you.
Yes.
And it's just all like, okay, let me take a moment.
Mhm.
So I make him take a moment.
Yes.
Take your moment. Go to your room.
That's what I do
You
with
even
Lyra.
do that with
Yeah.
Lyra.
That's what I do
You
with
know,
her.
she'll be losing her mind, and she's like, "You need to get it together." And even at 3, she's like, I gotta breathe
you
for
know,
a minute. You know,
not
it's
only-
okay to slow down.
Not only that, I try and give Lyra the words. Like, if she's mad, she'll come up red in the face, tears in her eyes, I'm mad! And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm so sorry that you're mad. There's nothing that I can do right now to fix that. So if you need something from me, let me know, but you need to go calm yourself down. And she'll go and, like, kind of step away.
Yeah.
I've taught her to take the big breaths. You know, growing up, I was really quick to fly off the handle. I was a really angry kid. You know, I went through a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that, you know, what I went through makes my parents or anything bad like that. It's
Yeah.
just, I was one of those people that was unfortunately exposed to things I shouldn't have been, and it made me a very angry child. Which then made me an angry adult for a long time. And when I had Lyra, I had to stop and be like, I don't want my kid to be like this.
Yeah.
And, like, yes, she does have those moments, but like Heidi was saying, like, she's pretty good about taking those moments by herself and be like,
But at the same time, you gotta say, give me a hug. I
Yeah.
love you.
she does, yeah.
I love you.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing I felt with my son was that hug
Yes.
was that I love you.
Just
And
that grounding moment. That moment where you just wrap their little arms around them and you're like, well, I get you, but we're going to be okay, you know?
Well, this kind of leads into my next question of, do you think that parents nowadays are more disconnected from their children than maybe they were back then? Or do you think that it's just kind of person to person?
I think it's a person to person, really. Even when I'm working at work and I see the differences of the parents and how they assess with their kids, and how they talk with their kids within a public place, you know, and stuff. So there's those screaming kids.
Do you ever just look at those kids sometimes and be like, Mom, can you just pay attention to the like they're just
and the mom's on the phone?
Yes. I remember being pregnant and there was this kid that was walking through. Literally, they walked probably every aisle of that store and the kid is screaming his head off. And I remember sitting there like holding my belly and being like, please don't let me be like that. Like, oh my God.
I was that mom that I was like, outside, we're done. Because I was... For one, I didn't want to be in the grocery store. I'm already overstimulated. I'm having a bad... You're going to start screaming. Done now. I'm in the van.
We'll just go home. It's fine.
I don't need those groceries. You know what? There's cereal in the... Like, I didn't do it. But those moms that walk through and their kid just screams. And then there's the ones that you can tell that mom is exhausted and that kid won't stop and they absolutely... But not Hobby Lobby. Like,
and
that's
you
shopping
see...
you
see the face. You know. You see their face.
The difference in
the mom's face, you know, and stuff. And
like,
you can tell.
Like for us,
she's got one here, and she's got one or two in the cart, you know, and stuff. And you're just all like,
I see you, friend. I'm so sorry.
Can I help you? Or
do you need a hug? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to give out hugs. I don't care.
Right.
You know, as long as you don't care. You know, I see it. I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I took my kid out. Oh heck yeah.
I have to.
You know. And I said, we'll start this when we come.
I did also threaten my children. I was like, I will beat you in public with witnesses. Like,
you know what?
There was one time. There's moments where you lock eyes with them and you're like, him or me.
There was one time that Lyra was freaking out in a store, and I turned, and nobody was looking at us. Nobody cared. And I turned and I pointed, and I was like, look at all those people. They just saw you acting like that. And she was like shocked. And you know what? She was quiet the rest of the time, but she surely did not like that she, you know.
I've gone up to some kids, you know, and stuff like that, and their parents. And we had some that were just running around in the store, and the parent was shopping.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, so I went up to the kids. I said, hey, how you doing today? What are we doing?
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Where's your mom?
Right.
Let's take them off guard.
Yeah. Just give them that, okay, we gotta, somebody's watching or somebody, you know what I mean? It's that.
Well, I think now too that people are so connected to their phones that they don't realize you have to like put down the device to parent a child. You know, so many people want to be on the phone and constantly like watching videos or scrolling and things like that.
I think personally come up to you and take that phone out of your face.
Yeah.
And say, pay attention.
Look at your kid, please.
These guys are running around, almost running into stuff. Things
right.
You need that.
You know,
please?
That's kind of why I liked Hobby Lobby. Because it was a little bit smaller of a store. So you could be more, I guess, personal with the people.
I think you rather than that rush. Like, yes, you do, but like
not like Walmart. Not like the Blue Store. Yeah, not like the Blue Store. The Blue Store, I walk in there and I'm like, I'm ready to leave.
I think we pay that. It's so funny sometimes because I see in a way even at my work is that we pay attention too much to our thieves compared to
the customers.
Our other customers there. You know, and stuff. And there's a moment where you just got to say, hey, look, settle your kids down.
Yeah.
I will walk those kids back to their mom or their parent and say, hi, how you doing today?
Yeah.
These belong to you? Maintain.
Yeah.
You know, straight up. Because
sometimes I
am too old to have this.
I just think it's sad in this day and age that you kind of have to do that sometimes. I know my sister and I would butt heads sometimes because we would parent her children when we were at family functions and stuff. And she would come up and try to get in our face about it. And I would be like, you're not going to do what I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only treating your kids the same that I would treat my kids, and they're being a little rude right now, and it's okay for you to hear that.
Yeah.
As a mom, maybe you need to hear that.
Right.
So I'm with you, man. Take that kid back to their parent, and then look their parent in the eye and be like, not my problem. Like, what are we doing there? I don't get it, you know?
I mean, I could really see these kids, and they almost did. They almost collided with each other, you know, and stuff. And it was just all like, okay, now we need to settle down.
Right.
You know, we need to take this to another whole different level. So we're going over with Mom.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way you just.
Well, and I think that's
you have to
sometimes
sometimes
checked
step
out
in.
mom. They're just checked out.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Yeah.
They don't care that their kids are bugging somebody else because they just want that break.
You know, I think that's why I'm cool with having just the one. I think that
Me too.
You know,
Yeah. Just the one was good for me too.
Okay. You know, here's a good question for you. My mom constantly, not so much anymore. She definitely respects it more now. But when I first had Lyra, she constantly was like, "Have another baby. You need to have another baby." You know.
No, I didn't get that, but that's okay.
Did you? So you didn't get any of that?
No.
Did you ever consider having another kid, or were you like, "No, this is
No.
it"? Okay.
As for my thinking, he was my last sperm out of my system.
You know what? That's
and
kind
I
of
said, that's good with me.
that's kind of
I
how
was
I felt
blessed,
too. I've kind
You
of.
know?
You know, I'm 30, and I know that that's still relatively young when it comes to, like, having kids, but honestly, I think I'm done. Like, Lyra is great. She's everything I've literally dreamed about for the last, like, 10, 20 years, you know. I've always wanted to have one kid.
Yeah.
And so many people, you know, like, you have 4 kids, and
I
my
was more
mom...
like, how can we make this stop? Because they are not.
My mom has 3. You know, I definitely, I think I'm okay with the one.
Undereducated and lack of knowledge. I
Right.
apologize.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
that's
You're
the
good.
truth. I was like, there is a problem in my body.
Yeah.
There are some, and I think to us, I think God had a plan, no matter what, and He gave us that gift, and then gave it over to other people to have their gifts,
Right.
and multiple gifts. I was the baby of 5 kids,
Okay.
so I came from a big family.
Yes.
Why didn't I have any more?
Because of the big
I was-
family.
I was all like financial reasons, you know, and stuff. So that played a big thing, and I was all like, I'm good with one.
Well, and Maddie
you
and I have
know?
talked about that as well. The world is overpopulated as we see it. It really is.
There's
Like
a lot.
we're
Yeah.
using up our resources. I don't think it's so bad to have smaller one. You know, it used to be back in the day that people were having all of these children to
Big
run the
kids.
farms and do all of these
Run
things.
the
And I
farms.
think
Yeah.
times have just changed, and that one child is okay. Besides, we need a lot of extra love in this world to put up with the outside world.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
you
I
know,
think.
not only
Yeah.
that, like I mentioned it
Amen
earlier,
to
but
that.
all the scary things that are coming out, why would I want to bring another person into this world and have to deal with that? Like, it's bad enough that I now have to read the Epstein files or all the horrible posts and things that people say and go, wow, I got to put my daughter through this world and somehow hope that I protect her enough to keep her safe from all these god-awful people that are slinking around, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because so some of my family decided to do homeschool and some did regular school, and you're talking about the fears of putting
Yeah.
Lyra in. Now, in my mind, the world isn't going to get any better. It's not going to get better. I mean, we hope,
Yeah.
but history proves itself
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that we always have to remember is that good, evil, every day, no matter what, we can try and try,
Well,
you know, and
that's
stuff.
where I was
and that's-
going with that.
Yeah.
Is they need to be in school.
Yes.
They need to learn to stand up for themselves. They need to be able to make those choices as a human at 5 so that when they get into high school, they have more power behind them that maybe they're not even, it's not even a situation in their world because of how they were done. But now if you homeschool them and you teach them that the world is a pretty place, well, they come out like me with the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding, and everybody's supposed to be nice. Somebody lied to me.
Slam, and then
Again.
it's like saying, do you still believe in Santa Claus? You know, what happened to that? You know, and then your child, you know, comes aware in their age going, it was my parents all this whole
One
time.
of the things you keep bringing up, I struggled with that. I struggled with the lie of it because I was such a black and white person because my mom was a lie. Like, you know.
See, I was more taught the magic of it.
Same, that's where I was headed.
That, like, you know, I grew up I grew up in a very mixed religious household where we went to Catholic church and did the Catholic things, but I was also taught, like, the spiritual and pagan side. And so when, like, let's say Santa Claus kind of, you know, people were like, you know, that's not real, right? By that point, I kind of knew, but I also kind of was taught that it was more of the spirit of
Yes,
Saint
and that's
Nicholas,
what I was
like,
trying
you know,
to create, like the traditions and things that you do, not the money that came through Christmas. Like mine was more like watching the movies and making popcorn than Santa Claus is coming on Christmas Eve. Like, yes, we did the presents, yes, we did all of that because I felt like it was big enough in the world that my kids deserved that too. I don't know, I was raised with it. But yeah, that was another thing I struggled with too, so that's interesting.
Right.
But I didn't turn it into a lie. It was the magic of Christmas, you know, and so then it wasn't a man coming down our chimney, but yes, Santa Claus was there.
Right.
But at the same time, you get all the, you know, Christmas movies that are on, you know, and stuff, and they talk about it too. Oh, they lied, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all like, come on, please. I'm trying to make the magic still be in the world, you know, to make it happy. I decorated for my kid.
You did all the things.
I went all out. Every room was decorated, you know, and stuff, and just made it a fun time, you know, for him too, you know, to develop. These are traditions, you know, and stuff. Oh my gosh, so I tried to lay it down for him, you know, and say, here, you know, when you move, here's my Christmas stuff for you also. So I shared it with them, you know, but he goes, Mom, just keep it for right now. I will be back, and if I need it, it'll be here with you.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Okay.
I'm all like, okay, yeah.
So, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment so far? Like something that you would want to be known for, you know, something that you want to be remembered for?
I guess just a normal person.
Yeah.
Just a normal person.
I think that makes you magical in itself, though. Like, listening to her talk about raising her son and the friendship she's created with him, like, I still think that that is a part of your power. Just to be normal and get through life. Yeah, you're not laying on the couch scrolling, you know.
Don't have all the, you know, I didn't, I kind of graduated high school, but I didn't come through with all those, you know, big gold stars or whatever, or honors.
I didn't either. I barely made it.
You know, and neither did my son, and it's okay because now the biggest picture was that he is a certified conductor on a railway that is up in Denver. So, he does commuter rails up there.
I love
He wears the hat and everything, the uniform.
Didn't he work at the
cog?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I rode that one year.
Yeah. So he got the experience.
Now I have to meet your son one day. Maybe he'll be on our podcast. I want to learn about all the trains. Oh my gosh.
He loved trains.
Well, if he's ever in town, be like, hey.
Love the trains. Ever since, I started him out at a year old, and I gave him a toy train.
My youngest loved trains.
With a track.
Yeah.
That just went around in circles.
Yes.
That was it.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Who would have thought that was his compassion for the rest of his life?
Right. I love it so much.
I think that, you know, you talk about being remembered as like a normal person. I think honestly that you would be remembered as a good mother.
Well,
I think that you have been from what you've talked about, I've seen pictures. You know, we keep not in touch every day, but we do keep in touch
Yes.
through social media and
Yeah.
stuff. That I would say that you would be remembered as a good mom, as somebody who was really supportive, and you've always been so kind. You know, even in like frustrating situations at work,
Yeah.
you're still the person that people go to because you are real, but you're also very kind about the realness.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
think that would be.
Don't let I really don't want to
Yeah.
be that fake person, you know, even though I've been called that before.
You know what? I just
And I was
decided
all
that's
like,
their
okay.
energy.
Yeah.
I'm finally enough in my own that I'm like,
Right.
I said I'm good, you know.
yeah,
I just
oh, you're gonna
yeah.
be messy. I'm just gonna go back over here.
Right.
Yeah. I still put my pants on one leg at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I put them
love
both
that
on
so
at the same time and see if I can still stand up.
We're all human.
Yeah.
Try throwing the cat in there while you're getting dressed. That's a situation.
Or a
sometimes.
toddler. That's always fun too.
Yeah, the first time your toddler popped up in the bathroom with me, I was like, "Oh, we've become too close.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to relocate."
Hi, welcome, friend.
No,
Here we
literally.
are.
And Maddie's just out here yelling, "Is my kid in there with you?" I'm like,
I
Sorry.
keep my doors open for even in the bathroom. You know, it's just me and my cat. You know,
Yeah.
and stuff.
I have a
His
lot of
litter
trauma,
box.
so my doors are always open. It would, you know.
Yeah. His litter box is in the bathroom, so I'm like, hey, if you gotta come in, you're coming in. I hope I'm not gonna stop you. I don't
Right.
care. You know? But when my son was living with me, my bedroom door was open. You know, when we went to the bathroom, yes, you closed the
Yeah.
door. You know, and stuff like that. But other than that, the doors were open.
Mhm.
You know, and stuff. I said, it's up to you guys. And his partner even came and lived with us for a little bit. But it was cool.
Yeah.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
I could have a glass of wine, go in their room and lay down on their bed with them and just chill, have
It's just a
fun.
Right.
natural
Listen.
energy. I love that.
I was just all like,
Yeah.
what, you know,
Yeah.
if I'm going to do this and we're going to do it right, you're still going to feel my love. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff. And my son, even if I was in my room, he would come running
Dude,
in, jump, fly right on top of me, you know, and
oh
stuff.
yeah, oh yeah, all
And
the
we
things.
would wrestle.
Mhm.
We still wrestle, you know, and stuff. Even to this time.
That was my kids. My daughter, I'd be sitting on the couch, next thing you know, there's a shadow, and she's Superman slamming me into the couch. I'm like, what are we doing? And she's like, I don't know. Like, just that was that type of that relationship, you know. It's so funny.
See, Lyra's so little. My only experience is anywhere I go, she has to be touching me right now. That has been the new thing of she doesn't want to talk to me. She doesn't really want to play.
Mhm.
She just wants to be touching.
Mm-hmm.
In sleep, going to the bathroom, like anything. We're holding hands. She's like touching my shoulder. Something. Now, granted, like with you, sometimes she gets into the like, hey, and starts like patting, and you're like,
She's
stop
like
it.
substituted me some mornings, and she'll be over here, and she's just patting my leg, and pretty soon I'm like locked eyes with Maddie, trying to get a concentration out because it's been so long since I've had that, and I'll be like, dude, my heart is racing so fast, and I'm like, you know, and like this one time, me and her toddler got in a yelling match. Like we're yelling. She's over there on the couch, I'm right here, and I am locked eyes yelling at this 3-year-old. And then I turned, and a friend was sitting right here, and I was like, why am I yelling at a toddler? Like, and then I look at Maddie, and she's like. I'm
like
you're
like
stuck
this.
on your own. Like there was no way to get out of that interaction with that kid. It was terrifying.
Not only that, but then after you yelled at her, she locked eyes and yelled back at you.
Oh, it was a
like,
whole scene the rest of the day, and I was like,
That's still connection.
yeah, I
It's
had
still a
four of them. They
connection.
didn't do
Yeah.
that.
You know, and stuff. Because they're relaying to you. You
well,
know,
and it
and
was
stuff.
one of those
And
days
if
that
it
it was
needed,
chaos.
it just needed to come out.
Yeah.
You know,
It
but they're
did.
still having a connection with you. So that's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
oh my gosh, it
because
was terrifying for me. My little heart.
She was all like, yeah, come on, baby.
If you want to yell, I can
Well,
yell.
she was like, have you met my mom? You wait till I call her. That's what I felt like was going down. And all of a sudden I have like this fear, like, well, I'm done being friends with Maddie. I yelled at her kid, like, it's over.
And I'm just over here like, yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
She's all sorry for your luck. I'm like, that's it? That's all you've got me? Also, toddler in hand, out the door, over to the other house, and like, we
Oh,
obeyed that
yeah,
way.
no, she definitely got sent home after that one. And
That was her first
I didn't
graduation.
necessarily yell at her, but I definitely like got down on her level, and I was like, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to fix this because you're not going to act like this in front of my friends and at somebody else's house. And then for a good solid like hour, I gave her snacks, I gave her toys and her show, and I was like, you are going to sit here and I'm going to sit outside, and we are not.
That's grounding them. That's just grounding
It's that overstimulation that they get. That's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we've got time for like one more question.
One more question.
So, what would you do to change something in your life or in the lives of others? Like, what, if you had the means, money or knowledge or something, what was one thing that you would change right now to make your life better or somebody else's life better?
You know, and that's, it's so funny because we always, our first thought is, of course, financial.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big thing. Always a big thing in everybody's life. Right? And we always go back to where, if that happened and I was more financially,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have gone through these steps though. I wouldn't have gone through a lot of these memories with my child.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff. So, yes, I do want to say it's financial and give everybody. If I won the lottery today, I would share.
Yeah.
Me, I probably wouldn't do it. I mean, probably a house or something, you know, and just say, hey.
Yeah.
But I would bring my son into it. I would. That's my
Right.
one and only, you know. But everybody else in my family or some friends, you know, and stuff, would get a share.
Right.
That's a thing, I think, because even if it's $100, $1,000, it helps.
Did $5 help me sometimes? $5. You know, when you drop that last quarter in for somebody's purchase at Walmart, like it's a quarter, but like you're like. We do it all the time. Like, it's just a little kindness to pass
And
along
the way that lights up people's world, too. If you're like, dude, it's 3 pennies, I got you. And they're like, oh, thank you.
Yes.
Like, it's nice to know that it's not just like you or me that's struggling financially. It's literally everybody.
I love it when a customer steps up and pays for the customer in front of them or behind them. Like, somebody's just having an issue, their kid's being a nightmare. I love moments like that. Yeah.
I watch a lot of videos. That's my downtime, you know, and stuff. Or I play my little solitaire games or whatever, you know, and stuff. But that's my downtime. And I watch these videos, and you see people, and they got thousands and thousands of dollars. And they'll grow up and go pay for their groceries. Shock the shit out of them. But at the same time, go, oh, that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And you're all like, gosh, I almost want to be that person. That could go up to somebody else and just go, I can pay for your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care what's in your cart.
Yeah.
I don't care the dollar amount.
Like, let's just do it.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to do that. I really do.
Right.
But I can't.
Yeah.
I know.
And even if sometimes it's a dime or a penny, you know, we could do dimes and pennies.
Right.
But thousands and thousands of dollars that these people are sharing on their you know, websites, you know, and stuff.
Have you ever seen somebody turn it down? So I was in a check stand one time,
No.
right? And you're running groceries.
No.
I have.
No.
And this person turned around, or from behind was like, hey, I want to pay for your groceries. It was like Christmas time. And that person absolutely would not let them do it. They were like, nope, do it for somebody that needs it. Like, I think they were being kind, but in that moment I was like, take the blessing. Like, it's kind of like when people want to pray for me. I'm not necessarily like a sit on the church bench religious type, so I don't pray. Yeah. But I am very spiritual, so like, I'll take that. Like, I'm going to take from it what I need.
That's still somebody giving you a good intention, even if you
So-
don't believe what
So
they
that
believe.
pay it
But
forward
I-
when people
that-
stop that is confusing to me, why they don't allow that to
I
happen.
think at the same time they want to bless somebody else because they've already
Fair.
felt the gratitude.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
So
I
they're
appreciate
giving
that.
it to the next person.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think of things like that sometimes.
And-
I'm like in the moment and done. Like, I cause a lot of trouble for myself though. In the moment,
It's
done.
okay.
Like, that
okay.
went weird. We're gonna go this way.
Well, go ahead.
And I think too, both ways. You know, if you're gonna feel the blessing and give the blessing, be in the blessing.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love that too. Yeah.
It's a hard thing to find in this world, to have naturally content people that are just trying to do better.
Yeah.
You know, like I go to work and bring home all the stories of the things that people are going through, and I'm like, it's really chill over at my house. Why am I trying to socialize? We're just gonna, Maddie,
Yeah.
I'll be home in 20.
You know, and then when you're a parent and you need that downtime or that little moment, you get up extra early, have that cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
You know, or you put him to sleep, and then you have that quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was mine with 4. I would
That
put him
was
to bed at
another-
night and stay up late so that I had that time for myself because
you just needed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You needed that time.
yes,
I think mothers know that
Right.
too. And then there's that because you give so much and your energy, you feel your energy, you know, and stuff. And then you gotta balance out. You really, really do.
yeah.
In all aspects.
I didn't ever balance out raising kids. I took on the Mormon religion instead. So here we are.
There we are.
It's nice to meet you all. It's a different
It's another
prospect.
day.
Well, I didn't do that. I did not.
Right.
So the amount of times that Maddie will look at me and she's like, "So you're a person?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's what I've been thinking."
Right.
But I do not sit well on a church bench.
Well, Catherine, Laura, it's just about time to wrap it up.
You're good.
I really appreciate you coming on. You are our second guest, so
Yeah.
we've been trying to get some people on, and every time we talk to them, they're like, I don't know about that. So I really, really appreciate you coming
this
on and
was
talking
chill.
to us. Yeah, it's
Even though I'm still half asleep.
I think we did pretty well. If you want to know the truth, we're barely waking up right now.
You know what?
So that's
we're
gonna-
all sleepy girls today. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the first time ever I woke up and I was like, "You're filming a podcast today." Shirt, hair,
There.
let's go.
Right.
We're good.
So,
We're good.
So
We're
for
good.
the people watching, we like to ask them a question at the end.
Uh-oh.
So what would you guys, if you had the means to do whatever, what would you guys do to change your own life or the life of others around you? Do you have anything?
The only thing you mentioned at the point in time, the knowledge. We wish we would have had the knowledge when we started.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's really the only thing I had to have. I think if we would take all the knowledge that we have now, imagine if we had it when we first started raising those little kids.
Right.
Like, I look at the 3 of us right here, and all we were trying to do was make that little world a little bit better for those little people. But
And for ourselves.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
we forgot
seriously.
the ourselves raising kids.
Yeah.
We forgot the ourselves.
So, and I think that's the biggest thing to remember is
Right.
yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
We really do. I mean, the only thing that I get to treat myself with nowadays, and when I was, you know, having my son, was getting my nails done.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, that was something.
That was
yes.
my treat.
Yes.
I set aside money, you know,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I said, that's my treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for me, you know, and stuff. So I think that's the biggest thing in reality that we all, whether we have kids or not, and treat
Right.
yourself
Mm-hmm.
to something,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's going outside and hiking, swimming, whatever is your boat. Take your boat and sell it,
Yeah.
you know,
Just
whether it's just for an hour,
yes,
whether
yes.
it's just the whole day,
Yeah.
if you can, you know, and stuff. And then talk to those, if you see those moms having a bad day, talk to them.
You know, it's ironic that you say that. A dad came up the other day and in the stroller, this child was just losing his mind. And I kind of just locked eyes with the dad and I was like, hey man, mine are in their 20s. Like, good luck. Like, trying to because you could just tell he was done with it. And he goes, yeah, I think I'm going to take him outside and walk around for a little bit. And I had so much respect for that dad that the dad was like, this kid's done. So he went out, came back in, the kid's chilling. Now the mom's up with him. They got 3 little kids, you know. But yeah, like, take that moment.
Yeah.
Like, we rush things so much.
Yeah, we're such in a hurry, or we're
We really
so
are.
focused on, okay, I gotta get this, I gotta get this, I gotta get. See what's going on around
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just
Seriously.
slow your roll.
you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Be
Well, you have
still.
an amazing energy about you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Like
Yeah.
it was really enjoyable to get to know you on camera.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Yeah. Any questions for Catherine?
Yeah,
Like,
any
you
questions?
wanna
You
know
can't
all the
have any
things.
questions. No more. No more. I'm done. That's it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.